So
Sure.
welcome to NLA, next level with Adepoju. This is the second episode of Adepoju Spotlight. Thank you guys for coming in, joining the live stream. Okay, so if you guys got any questions, give it in the question box below, or just give it in the comment section as well. So we welcome all conference player for Georgia Southwestern State, all star for Knox Basketball Club. Just finished averaging 24 points in Germany. England international and 3-year professional basketball player, Adam Thoseby. So, yeah, welcome, Adam.
Thanks,
Welcome.
man.
Okay, so for those that don't know, you were very successful at Reading Rockets, and then you gained the opportunity to go to States in prep school, one of the best prep schools in America, in Maine Central Institute. So, what was the biggest adjustment you made while playing in the States?
I think the first thing I noticed was playing against Americans my age was just the strength of them all. Like
Mm,
guys there had been in the weight room since for their freshman year of high school, so four years before me, and I only really started maybe the year before that.
okay.
So just coming against guys who were men at the age of 18
Mm,
was definitely a shock initially, but it was easy to get used to it. It was just a
yeah.
big change.
Yeah, that's good. So what was when you got over there? What was the S&C like? Was it a whole different
Yeah, it was
ball game?
different. So I was in a small town called Pittsfield. There was maybe 500 people in the town, and before that, I was living in Reading, and there's like 250,000 people there.
Mm,
So I went from a fairly decent sized town
okay.
to
To,
nothing
yeah.
to a small American country town.
Okay.
So yeah, and we lived on a like a student housing there, and
Mm,
all the players lived on the same floor, and on each end were the two coaches. So
okay.
we couldn't leave without coaches knowing. We couldn't go to
Yeah.
the store. We couldn't do anything without a coach being like, "Where are you going? What are you doing?" So it was
So always
completely,
constantly checking in. Yeah.
yeah, constantly checking in on you, making sure you're not getting into trouble, and
Mm.
I mean, it worked. None of us got into trouble, I guess. So
No, it's pretty good. So could you think of a moment or like a breakout game where you kind of felt like, okay, I can do this. Like I'm
yeah,
confident.
yeah. It probably wasn't a breakout game, but we were playing in a tournament in Rhode
Mm,
Island University.
okay.
And it was a big like scouting tournament. There were really a ton of really good players there, and we played. The first time the name didn't mean anything to me, but we played a top recruit, Michael Carter Williams.
Okay. Oh,
Um,
yeah. He was the first pick in the NBA draft for 76ers.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was interesting for sure. He was 6'7", 6'6", strong, athletic. Even though he can't really shoot in the league, he could sure shoot at this tournament.
Yeah.
And like we competed with them. I think we lost by one in the end, but it was just a bit eye opening to see like this guy's going to the NBA and we're
Yeah.
still competing. So it wasn't a like a big breakout game, but it was just
Yeah.
seeing how
That you can
talented some of the
compete.
guys are and that you can
Yeah.
still compete.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
fantastic. That's good.
yeah.
Um, so then you transitioned to college basketball now. So what was it like playing in different systems, and how do you feel that prepared you for playing for pro basketball?
Yeah, sure. So the first school I went to, Utah State, was a very interesting kind of setup. So the way we'd run plays there is we'd have a flip book with all the players and names of the players, and it must have been 35, 40, 50 players
Wow.
in this book. So our point guard would dribble down the floor and then turn around and look at the coach who'd be holding up the flip card for the play to run. And that's when college was 35-second shot clock. So
Mm,
we'd run it the whole offense till there was like 5 seconds to go and just
yeah.
wear teams down. And then I moved to South Dakota and it was just completely different. Like
Yeah.
score quick, be aggressive, just a completely different style of play.
Mm,
And then Georgia, I transitioned more into being a point guard for that team. So I went from a 3 to a 2 and then to a 1 at three
wow.
different schools with three different philosophies. So that sure helped me understand that at any point I could play a different position
Mm,
and be required to do something. And if I didn't, then I wouldn't play.
mm. That's good. And then obviously being in different systems and kind of added to your, your backpack, or so you say your package, being able to
Yeah,
play different positions and obviously help the team out to fulfill their needs. So yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
yeah.
Um, so then obviously transitioning from different universities. What's the one place you enjoyed playing the most, and why?
I really liked the start of Utah State. So our first regular season game was against BYU,
Okay.
and that was I came from playing in England where for the finals, like the under-18 finals, we got like 1,200 people.
Yeah.
Before that BYU game, there was maybe 4,500 people camped outside the arena 4 days before the game trying to get tickets. So
Yeah.
we'd walk to the game like through the students area and people would cheer us going to practice and cheer us leaving practice, and
Mm.
like it was just a surreal thing. But then basketball wise was probably my last year because that's when I really got to play a lot, um, and just like having control more of
Yeah.
my own destiny rather than waiting for a coach to allow me to do something.
Mm.
Or yeah,
I feel you. Yeah, I feel you. Okay, so obviously, playing in the states and everyone's hungry. How do you feel like? How do you think? Sorry, how important is mentality and your mental makeup or your mental mindset towards like the game?
yeah. Like styles of basketball are so different in different countries, and when I went to the States, I just noticed how it meant everything to one player to win every possession,
Mm.
whether it was defensively or offensively, but to not let the guy across from you get an edge on you, whether that's in practice or in a game or anything, but like it means everything all the
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah.
I think that definitely helped me understand going into pro that it's like that, but even more so.
Mm. And yeah, a little side note, I definitely saw that side of you uh, last year, definitely in practice as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, maybe a couple times.
yeah. But so now, obviously now, you're a professional basketball player, and you take every summer seriously in terms of preparing for the next job. Okay, so how do you approach the summer in terms of improving your game?
For me, it's always about lifting weights and getting in the weight room.
Mm.
But then again, it's just consistency. Like I try and do what I've always been doing, then add things. So the last 2 years for me has been a lot about handling the ball and trying to run a team a little better. And I
Mm.
have moments where I do that well, and then taking time to look at film and see where I don't do it so well, and fixing those
Yeah.
mistakes or issues that I have or holes in my game.
Yeah, I feel you. What when you say lifting weights, like what do you feel like in the whole total body in general, or just your say your core strength, or what do you feel like
Uh,
certain
I try
aspects?
and I try and go through periods. So now, like I'm trying to put on weight, but no gyms are open, so it's hard to go to a weight room.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I go through that, and then I work on trying to be more explosive as I get closer to the season,
Mm.
instead of just trying to focus on everything all the time. Just try
Yeah.
and stagger it a little bit.
And one thing I don't know, but I feel like from my perspective, a lot of things that is kind of slept on about you is your athleticism. Like you got a quick first step, and you can really get to the basket. So, yeah,
Yeah,
thank you for
I
breaking that
wish
down
I
for
wish I knew how to use it better.
me. All in due time. Keep
Yeah,
working on it.
yeah,
So now to our next question. First, you're a 6'6" shooter, okay? You're like that's you're an out and out like shooter. Like, that's what I would say. But
yeah.
what other skill sets are important for a shooter to obtain?
I think I think for me it was like understanding I can make a tough shot, but understanding the threat of shooting is a big tool as well. So getting guys off balance and then being able to get to the rim and then make a play, whether it's finishing or finding a pass. I'm still trying to get better at that because it's
Yeah.
tough. But I think that's the biggest thing for me in particular, and as shooters in general,
Mm-hmm.
rather than just relying on trying to shoot it from wherever and hope it goes in, no matter how contested you are.
Mm. Do you feel like well, obviously you just come off the year averaging 24 points in Germany. Do you really feel like the game really slowed down and you kind of felt more comfortable within the role that your
Yeah,
team was asking you to do?
yeah, yeah. Uh, I probably didn't expect to play quite as well as I did this past year, but I think just the work that I put in kind of started to come together
Mm,
now. And even though I'm 28 now, I still feel like things are still starting to come together that
yeah.
will help me over the next 10 years.
Because obviously it's hard, but you're doing it. You're doing it, and you're one of them. You're one of a few prospects to come out to the UK and actually play professional basketball. So you know, props to you. You're coming out here and you're doing your thing. Doing your thing.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Um,
And then, man, there's so many talented players in England. Like, there's so many unbelievably talented players in London and Manchester and all parts of the country that just
mhm.
have so much untapped potential out of England. I was just lucky I had good connections early on to help me get out. I think a lot more guys could.
Well, so okay, so saying that, what do you think? What do you think is holding the UK back in terms of I wouldn't say popularity, but UK people like coming like getting out or going to like the States or playing professional basketball. Like, what do you think holds British basketball
I
back?
think I think in the last few years I've seen like I don't know what's caused it, but way more players going to college in the States and getting out different ways, whether it's going to
Mm,
Europe and stuff like that. Like when I was young, I was always around guys who seemed to be going off to college, and I just happened to be one of the lucky ones to jump onto. Yeah, I think it's ever improving, and
mm,
it's getting better all the time.
100%, 100%. Okay, cool. That's good. So now we're over to the Q&A section. Guys, if you've got any questions, just pop it in the questions comment section below. Well, we got a few questions right here. So we got one question. How do you overcome tough games, and what's the best thing to do in that situation?
Um, I think for me, is to forget about it because I know when I played Big V in Australia my first year, if I had a bad game, I could sometimes let it carry over to the because we'd play on like a Saturday and then a Sunday, so it'd be a
Mm,
very short time between the two games. And I'd think about it the next day and worry about it, and then it would take me a quarter or a half to get into this game rather than worrying about the day before. So I think forgetting about it is the most important thing and just moving on to the next day. Like
yeah.
either
Next thing,
looking at
exactly.
highlights of yeah, looking at highlights of yourself to try and remember like what do I do well, where do I make good decisions, where do I make bad decisions, and focus on making
100%,
more good ones. Yeah.
100%. And then the next question we have here, it's kind of like a general or generic question, but so in the evening, would you rather play a game, visit a relative, watch a movie, or read?
I'll play a game every day.
Play.
Do you mean like a basketball game
Uh, let's
or
say,
do you mean like what would I want to do in the evening?
yeah. What would you rather do in the evening? Yeah, that's what kind of got from this question.
Oh, if it's that, then maybe hang out with family. I've
Yeah.
got some nieces and nephews in Utah and in Melbourne, so I'd like to hang out with them or hang out with family.
Oh, cool. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So you referenced game tape quite a few times. So what are certain things that you look out for in watching film?
Um, when scouting other players, I like to know who I'm guarding, and
Mm,
like every player, even if they say they don't, has tendencies like things they do. Like maybe they attack the rim more going right, and they'd rather pull up going left. And I just like to know those kind of things. So if I do end up in a situation like that, I know what to do to kind of make them do something they don't want to do.
mm,
And then for myself, just seeing more where I make mistakes, like seeing where I put myself in tough situations or rush things, and just trying to remember not to do those things or
mm.
find different ways out of those situations.
And obviously looking at different defensive coaches and how did I put myself in this
Yeah,
situation. So yeah, figure out how.
yeah.
To do that. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Um, so obviously you play for England in the Commonwealth Games. Just give us a brief overview of like how that was for you and like what that meant for you as
Oh,
well.
I mean, I think any experience, any opportunity to represent your country is a very honourable one to have. So I think everyone on that team at the time felt very privileged and very lucky to be a part of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Commonwealth Games were amazing. Like playing against some other national teams, although it was a small tournament, it was an awesome experience and really good exposure for a lot of guys, and especially the experience of playing against different countries with very different styles of playing.
Yeah, you guys played against I think one game you played against Canada, right? You played against Canada.
Yeah, our last game we played against
Yeah.
Canada, and they gave it to us a little bit. They shot the hell out of the ball. There was no way, like we didn't have a chance that day. I mean, everyone played hard. They just made everything, and sometimes that happens, especially in basketball. It just happens.
Just a level of competition. Like, how did you feel like the athleticism, or like, you know, was it certain things that they did, or was it just like skill wise, or?
I think this just because we played them in a scrimmage game before the Commonwealth game in Townsville, I think, and we ended up drawing, I think, at the end of the game.
Okay.
But like we were ahead most of the game and just gave it away at the end. So we thought when we came up against them that we had them, honestly, but they just gave it to us that day.
Okay.
It just happens.
Yeah. No, it just happens. No.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So if we, you know, I said if we have time, so we've got a little bit of time now. So I got a quick fire round for you. All right, quick fire.
Okay.
So in one word, describe the places you have played for. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Georgia, Western State. Yeah, that's that right?
Fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
Utah State.
Intense.
Reading Rockets.
Intense.
Knox Basketball Club.
Social.
Okay. Worcester.
Yeah. Difficult.
Yeah. Where did you play the Commonwealth Games? Where was that again?
Where did we play?
Yeah.
We were in Townsville.
Okay, so Townsville.
I'd say unified. I felt unified there.
Oh, cool, fantastic. And Germany.
Eye-opening.
Eye-opening. Cool. When you say eye-opening, what do you mean in terms of?
Because I'd never played in a league on like mainland Europe. I played in England, obviously, but never played in Germany. And just seeing like how many teams there were and like how talented a lot of players are in Germany, and just the setup there was amazing. Like we had our own practice facility and like a pretty decently good sized arena. And like crazy fans banging drums every game, loud. Yeah, it surprised me, but it was really good. Like a really good experience.
That's good. That's fantastic. So obviously now, like it's an off season now, but what do you think is the next thing? Because you touched on it a little bit, but like, what's not going away too much? Obviously, you're a competitor as well.
Yeah.
What would you think is the next thing for you, in terms of like your game, or just like for your career?
I'd like to, in terms of next season, I just want to progress every year. Like I always said it to myself, I just wanted to progress to another level and keep doing that. So as long as I do that next year, I'm happy. Obviously, I'd like to play back home in Australia because the league's so good here. But yeah, I'd love to go back to Germany too because that was such an awesome experience and such a talented leagues out there.
100%. Okay, so who's the toughest player? Sorry, you played against?
My second college game, we played Weber State, and it was Damian Lillard's last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a fair one, I think. Yeah, that was. And I didn't even know who he was at the time, and then I looked at the stat sheet after the game, and he had like 29 points in 25 minutes or something, and I was like, yeah. You understand? You've seen it.
And who's the best player you played with?
Best player I've played with?
You can give me like top 2, top 3. Doesn't be.
Oh man, I played with Perry Ellis.
Okay.
From Kansas. Sorry, not Kentucky, Kansas. And he was like an exceptional athlete, smart, really mature, like really tough. Like I really liked playing with him. So it's probably between him and Jerome Randall too. Like he
Oh,
was an
yeah.
unbelievable player too. Like for his size too, like he does some things that I didn't think were even possible. And he
Yeah.
murders people. So
No, that's what's up. That's dope.
yeah,
That's dope. That's actually that's cool. Okay,
yeah,
so that's everything. We hit everything on the dot, everything on the nose. Again, Adam, I just want to appreciate you for coming on. Appreciate you coming
good
on.
bro.
Special thanks, man, for coming on this live stream with us as well.
Yeah, it was really good, bro. Really good.
Appreciate you.
Apologies about the hair. That was a rash
Um,
decision.
that's good, man. I like it. You know, if you're friends have said, but I like the look. I like the look as
I
well.
appreciate it.
Um,
Yeah,
one other thing before I want to end off. For our younger guys, how important is it? How important is it? Because you finished quite nice with your right, and obviously a lot of people like you're a lefty shooter. Okay, so
yeah.
how important is it to practice your opposite hand? And
I think I think it's good to know how to finish in a lot of different ways with both hands on either side. I, Speaking of Perry, I remember one practice I was like way ahead of him and I bodied him and went up for a layup, just a regular one with my left hand, and he pinned it so hard against the backboard.
yeah,
I realized, okay, I can't finish like that anymore. I have to find ways to really create room to finish even wide open layups because you
mm,
never know who's coming up behind you.
especially
I learned that the hard way a few times.
yeah, but yeah, especially at the pro level where everyone's like, I would say just the same athleticism, but if not more, you really got to find small details in
Yeah,
when to navigate and how to get your shot off and different type of things. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Also, how important is the attention to detail? Okay, or how important for attention to detail to obviously to look at that and then trying to apply it to the court.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think at the higher level you play, the more important that becomes because people can make up for their mistakes
mm,
quicker, higher above the rim than they could at like junior level where everyone's still learning different things. So like it may not seem important, but there'll be a moment when you have to get your body in the right position so you don't get blocked. So you make a layup at an important time. It might only happen once, but it's so important.
100%, 100%. And then just give it, and then just how do you? Well, obviously people don't really know, but how do you begin to develop it, or try and look out for certain things within, try and look for certain cues within basketball, pretty much.
Yeah, I feel like I was always just put in tough positions and I was forced to either adapt and get better or just not make teams. Like
Mm,
I've been cut from teams before and because I wasn't ready for it and that's fine. But I think just figuring out how to fix those situations or overcome the issues that aren't letting you progress further.
no, that's
The most
fantastic.
important things. Yeah.
That's good. I like that. So obviously, you said obviously, you come back from like tough situations, but speak about, of being cut from a team or having a tough game. How do you refocus and how did you come back? How did you come back harder?
I think just reevaluating like what do I want out of it. And for me it was always like I just don't want to quit. I can't quit. Like if I couldn't be happy with myself if I just said, "Oh, this guy said I can't do it, so I'm just going to stop." Like it kind of has to be on my terms.
Mm,
And for me that's what just kept getting my mentality. And I think that helped to go into the States and experiencing that at prep school, guys really fighting to get out of where they lived or where they were from and going to college on scholarships. And that really showed the need to have that desire to
mm.
make it to that next level.
What do you think is the biggest? What do you think is the biggest difference? Playing basketball in the States to playing basketball in England.
I just think there's way more guys who play. There's just so many more guys who play. So the chance of there being a better player is much higher.
Mm,
And then because there's so many players playing, then so many guys want to make it. Like so many guys want to play pro, and so many guys just want to go to college. So
Mm.
you have to beat out so many people to get to that spot.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest difference from me.
Different.
Like I knew everyone playing basketball in England at my age, and I went to the States. I didn't know anyone, and you would never know everyone because there's so many guys.
100%. 100%. You know, obviously you said that UK basketball is improving. It's improving. But what's the one thing you think they could actually, you know, help improve UK basketball? You know, even the Great British national team is not, it's doing well, but you know, it's still things that could be done to improve the system.
Yeah,
What do you think
and
could be done?
the GB team did really good recently, beating Germany when I was in Germany actually. So they're definitely making strides every year. I don't know. I think it's just maybe it's just a time thing, just to keep improving
Mm.
one step at a time.
Yeah,
It's hard to know without being in it every day, without being in Basketball England's office or GB's office. You just don't know. But I think they seem to be doing the right things.
yeah, 100%, 100%. Cool. All right,
Yeah.
Adam, again, thank you again for joining us. Yeah, we just hit off a few questions off the bat, but yeah, I appreciate you coming on and
No, it was good.
sharing your knowledge for the younger guys as well.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Yeah, I'll speak to you soon, man.
See you soon, bro. Stay safe as
All right,
well.
you too.
Thanks, man.
Bye.
Bye bye. Okay, cool. So that was the second episode of Adepoju Spotlight. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The highlights will be the full video will be posted on YouTube, and then the link will be posted in the bio later on as well. If you guys got any questions, any further more questions for Adam or myself, just send a message in, and we'll be happy to answer it as well. But thank you guys for joining us, and stay safe as well.